All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this gentleman who is on this, you're currently on a giant screen right now.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Philip Wise, talk about astromech.com. Is everyone ready? All right, it's all you, sir. I'm going to make you really large.
Oh gosh, great. You're really small here. Okay, hey everybody. Uh, we have a few things to talk about today. Um, as you probably noticed, we did not migrate to a new forum platform since last DroidCon. We noticed it too. In fact, the first thing I'd like to do is if everybody doesn't know who Chris James is, Chris James is the guy that makes the forum keep running, and he's been doing it forever. And if it were not for Chris James, we would have had a really tough time when our hosting partner killed us one day. Last time we talked, one of the things I tried to tell you was that we were at risk because we were on a hosting partner that we had no control of. And so the very first thing when Chris and I were talking about what to do about that problem was we needed to rehost. And what we did was we went to a lot of trouble, but we rehosted onto where I have my other forum software for the other sites. And he was able to successfully do that and make it run, although it was in the background, because we didn't want to move unless we had to. And sure enough, one day they forced an OS update on us that they told us wouldn't hurt us, and it absolutely killed the forum. And had we not had our backup system in place, we would have really lost data in a big way. But due to the heroic effort of Chris James, we did manage to successfully move to the new platform, still running old software, but now at least we had control. We had power, which was nice. We had capacity, which was nice. And we have regular backups, which is very nice because should we have a problem, we can restore it pretty quickly. So that's what happened. That really, we're glad we planned for it. We're sorry that it happened, but it did happen, and we're all better for it. So thanks a lot to Chris James for that help, for sure. After getting the board stable, we then concentrated on moving to Zen 4.0, which is what we told you we wanted to do. Getting into that, we had noticed already that it was going to be hard to migrate to Zen 4.0 from our current platform because it is so old. There were actually significant roadblocks that preventing us from being able to do it. And pretty quickly, we figured out they had a new version coming out that was supposed to do something called single sign-on, which is important for our platform. But that 2.3 version was a while coming out and a while getting stable and a while getting support from other add-ons that are important. It took forever, many months. So we couldn't really do anything until that platform got stable. And it is stable now. And we have been testing it. We still had problems though. The wiki, bringing the wiki over so that it works was something that Chris wasn't able to figure out. We worked on it and we worked on it and we worked on it. He wasn't able to figure it out. And one day I get a message from a builder, Brian, I hope I don't butcher his name, Brian Digman. He wrote a text or a private message that said, had all kinds of things to say about the wiki. You could do this, you could do that. Have you thought about this? I mean, it was really detailed and thoughtful. I'm like, and nobody's ever said anything like that to me about the wiki. And he sounded like he wanted to volunteer. And so I talked to Chris, and he immediately said, yeah, we got to talk to Brian. And so we got Brian on board, and he dug in, and it was really digging in because we couldn't get it to do this single sign-on thing that's so important. I hope I'm saying what that technology is well enough to at least get through this conversation. But he actually ended up getting access to the Zen4 forums and posted what he was trying to do. And sure enough, just a guy on the forums writes, "Oh no, you're doing it wrong. Here's how to do it, and I'll take care of that for you." And sure enough, it was an awakening that did in fact solve the biggest problem we have with migrating to Zen4. And with this, we're all really recharged because now we have just really one more thing to figure out, and that's what to do with the galleries. Every time a new user signs on to the forum, a gallery is created, whether or not he uses it. And that leaves, since most people don't use the gallery software, it's a big hole in the system, and we're worried about plugging that hole, or at least figuring out how to deal with all of those accounts and making sure that we don't lose links in the forum to people's gallery photos, because that would be a mistake. We wouldn't really want to do that. We do believe we're going to get this figured out. And there is a complete development platform of the software that is running today. We still have our image problem, but I do believe we'll get that problem sorted out. And we're far enough along that we are going to be asking for, and in fact, I'm going to ask right now, for, we need about 3 volunteers that want to get around and that have the time to tinker in the forum and provide feedback of what they're seeing, because we can't test everything. There's just too much to test. And for people that want to do that, I just want you to email me. And my email is philip@wiseacres.com, PHILIP, and wiseacres, just like it sounds. And we only need like 3 right now. But we are ready to start trying to make sure that we understand what is working and what isn't working, and where some things don't make sense. And we're going to be adding features to this forum that we don't have in the current forum. So we're going to tinker with that as well. I'm very excited about Brian helping out. He got us past this big roadblock. Neither Chris or I have 20 hours a day to work on this. And Brian has not only made it easier for us to do the work we need to do, but he's also brought expertise that we didn't have, which is amazing. And the solution to the wiki, which is, I guess Brian's a fan of the wiki, loves diving into the wiki. He's already making some technology-based changes and format changes. And so whoever gets in there and gets to take a look at this, you'll be able to see that. I don't have a time frame other than we are now actively putting together a migration plan and a project plan. And once we can get the order of steps down and get past our media gallery problem, we'll be able to start communicating what our plans are. And I don't really have much more to say. I know that the one thing that Brian, he offered to let me bring up a screen. I'm like, maybe not. He's doing similar searches in both astromech current and the new platform, and searches that don't return any results or return too many results now return the exact result that you want. And that's going to be probably the greatest benefit in addition to the features in the forum, because every day, there are 15 or 20 new members that are being added to the forum. Every single day, some days 30. And it's amazing how many people think they can go build a R2 next week, because they have something coming up in a couple of weeks. And but I think it is overwhelming for them. It's just like last year. The vast majority of these people want a 3D print on R2. So that there's even more people this year than last year that are trying to 3D print R2. So as I think we mentioned last year, we want to have a better place for those guys to come to in the forum, because they're coming here looking for help, and maybe they're not getting quite the help they want in the Facebook page for Battley. I don't know. But they do want to talk to people, and the forum is the best way to talk to people. You know, you can go in and start that conversation and get that thread going, and you can always come back to that thread, which is the strength of the forum. So I don't have anything else. Is there anybody that has an important question?
Anybody have a question? If he did, just come on over here so he can look at you when he because I can't switch. I can't switch the my little cam to do to see all of you like I have online. So, does anyone have a question? Come here. Come on, sit in the hot seat. I'm gonna make you sit in the hot seat. Come here.
I was wondering if there was any plan to fix the user map functionality that I think is also broken on the forum.
So it does get mentioned every now and then. It's not on the list of things that we are going to get done before. Since last year, I think I mentioned it last year, I've gotten much more insistent that people give us a better location when they sign up. And in fact, it specifically says, you know, Earth is not a location, Tatooine is not a location, and people are responding. So, I mean, they may be making up the city and state they live in. I don't know. I don't think they are, but you know, today I let one get through that said North America, but generally, the widest I'll let you do is the United States or Canada, and when you look at the new users, you'll be surprised how sometimes people send me their address, and I'm like, yeah, we're not going to put your address in the forum, but it is important. You know, as Vagabond Elf, who I read every post he has said a long time ago, it's hard for me to help you if I don't know where you live, and that's what I tell people. I mean, because the answer is very different if you're in Canada or Germany or Mexico than it is if you're in Texas. Okay.
Hey, Philip. Thanks again so much for all you've done for the forum and keeping it alive. We really do appreciate it. One of the things that you mentioned last year was going through an effort to purge a lot of the old and unused accounts. How did that process go? And are we in a better place in terms of being able to manage all these accounts and make sure that we don't have you know, a lot of bots and non-real accounts?
So we're actually doing a good job with bots. Chris James has done a fantastic job of making it very difficult for a bot to register. We are about a month ago we started seeing a few, but I can identify them on when I go to approved users. They're very easy to identify, at least at this point. And we did not purge. There were 50,000 accounts, and that, as of last year, hadn't posted in the last year. So now it's 2 years. It's 2 years. It's still about 50,000, and we just decided a week ago we're going to go ahead and do it. Chris was worried that it would impact the current site if we did it, because again, it's old software and that's a lot of users. And so now that we have a complete duplicate of it, we can test it before we run it. And we are going to do that because we want that done before we migrate. And it's going to be anybody that has registered more than a year ago and has never posted. And that's the qualification. So it'll probably be more than 50,000 when it happens. Today, we marked them. They can't get into the forum. And we did that partly because old accounts are really easy to figure out the password and get in. So now they can't. That was done a year ago. So now they can't get in. And even when they write me, they'll write and say, it's been a long time. I haven't been out on the forum, but I need to come in now. I delete the account and have them re-registered. So we're just not letting people come at the forum. We're having really good luck with that. I also run the Force.net forums, who has, I don't even know, 750,000 bots attacks a day. And that's because that forum is open. So you can go in. I'm sure every AI engine has learned everything they can about Star Wars because that's where that history lives. So we recently had a pretty significant effort to reduce that, and we found out some pretty good ways to do it. Because I'd like to not close that forum like we have astromech, and it's a good test platform because they have a lot of visitors. So that's it. Thanks.
Anybody else have a question? I am staring at you all. Okay, well then.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, sir. If you have any final thoughts you wish to relay to all of us?
No, I just think we have a great community, and I'm very proud to be part of that community. This is an important. It's important to me, so we're going to do whatever's necessary to make it thrive. I'm sorry it takes so long. I do other things every day too, so we put as much time into it as we can. Okay. Anyway, thanks a lot. Y'all have a great time up there.
All right, everybody, give them a big old round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, well, that will do it for us. That'll do it for us today. He has just signed off. I'm going to switch to a different camera. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next up is our droid ducks, I believe, ducklings. But we got a little time till they start. So yeah, we'll see you in about 45 minutes. Thank you all.